if we're live or not. So going to assume by this point we probably are. Assuming the hotkey has worked.
We are indeed live.
Wonderful. Always nice when technology works. As it may or may not be in terms of the leveling. I can't do anything about that. So if one of us is a bit quiet or one of us is a bit loud, not much I can do about it. It seems to change on a dime, and I don't know why. Probably didn't help that I've got a fucking, like, shitty headset with microphone. Which, you know, barely works half the time, so... Well, I say half the time.
Watch your screen share, so... Bill, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Ah, fuck. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing your screen share, but I can just watch the stream to see the screen share, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
I mean, while I'm doing the intro, you can try and, you know, leave the call and come back.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, while Jack is doing that, we are back, Storytime Network, with the Song of Ice and Fire character tier list. We are about 2/3 of the way through. We have ranked some big old characters, like Donald Noy, kill a giant with one arm, pretty fucking badass. Areo Hota, married to his axe, pretty fucking badass. Strong Belwas, Teddy Roosevelt did a assassination attempt. Courtney Penrose, big dick Courtney Penrose, who told Stannis to go fuck himself before he died. And of course, you know, people lower down the list, poor old Archibald, who is basically the stand bearer for nothing character. And of course the F tier, who will be getting at least one more companion, probably a couple more if we have our way. But just scroll down. So we're starting with the R's, and we'll make our way down to the Y's with young Griff at the end. It's going to be a very interesting one to end with, but Rafford. We are starting with Rafford. I don't know who that is. And obviously I don't have access to the internet, so... I'm gonna make some educated guesses based on like his image. The three dogs does make me sort of think Clegane related. Same color as well. Yeah, it's three dogs. So definitely either a vassal or a member of House Clegane, which is not particularly a good thing for him. The members of House Clegane don't tend to be the best people. Obviously, well, Sandor has his moments. Oh, there's a notification in the main cast chat which could be quite bad. Obviously, I don't have much internet right now on my phone, so there we go. There's Jack asking if I could hear him, which isn't good. Let's see if my limited internet will let me search for Rafford. Come on. You're on a H+. Yes, Raff the Sweetling. Ah, that fucker.
Can you hear me now, Mil?
I can hear you now.
Okay, there's something wrong with the audio settings on my computer then.
Right.
Okay, I'll fix it later. Anyways, Raff is one of the mountains.
Yeah, I deduced that based on his surcoat.
Mm-hmm. He is also an asshole. He's the one who murdered Lamy in the books.
Ah.
And also, I believe Arya kills him in one of the previous chapters for wins.
Ah.
Yeah, she baits him, and he apparently is a little too interested in her.
Right, okay, I'm saying F.
Yep. F is fine by me.
It's where what's his fucking name? Meryn Trant would have gone if he had been. I mean, he very much took Rafford's place in the TV show.
In the show, yeah. Probably right below the mountain and Euron, because at least they have badass factor going for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but not necessarily as prolific as Craster.
Nope. Oh, Craster's an outright monster.
Yeah. So, Rakaro.
Well, Dany's Blood Riders. We'll just put them with the rest. Put them with the rest.
Where are the rest? There they are.
They're in C tier. I believe he's the one with the love triangle around him.
Right. Well, we'll stick him in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Computer, stop. Don't freeze on me. Oh, boy. Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay Bolton. What a colossal tool. He does make for a very fun antagonist, though.
Yeah.
He is vile, but he is incredibly entertaining and, well, not entertaining so much as horrifying.
Okay, this is going to be the one where I sort of put my foot down and say I don't care how much of an impact he has or, interest or whatever. He's going in F.
Yeah, fair. He is just kind of... He does make everything worse, doesn't he? Including his own father's plans.
He is a monster.
Mm-hmm. Where, though?
I will make a concession and put him at the top. But I'm not going higher than that.
Fair. He does just make everything worse by being in a scene, doesn't he?
He very much does. Randall Tarly. The only man to beat Robert Baratheon in the field.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, did threaten to have his son killed.
Yeah, he did threaten to murder his son, didn't he?
So, I mean, there's a badass factor to be stated. Impact, I mean, without his threat, Sam doesn't go up to the wall.
Yeah. He's one of those catalyst characters who also has a great deal of contributions to the backstory.
Yeah.
He doesn't really appear much in the present day.
Not massively yet, no. I imagine we will get him at some point.
I would not. Well, he's popped up here and there, but he hasn't done anything of substance, really, in the present day beyond, off screen.
Interest? I'm not that interested in him, honestly. Other than sort of...
Badass factor is pretty high, though.
Badass factor is high. I mean, my interest in him is pretty much based around wanting Sam to shove the fact that he killed a White Walker in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Impact, interest, development. Again, until and if he meets back up with Sam, we can't really say anything on a development factor, can we?
No, he doesn't really have much in the way of solid backstory either.
Yeah. My instinct is B.
Low B, yeah.
Badass factor would probably have him high B, low A, but I'm taking points off for
being an abusive jackwad.
Threatening to kill Sam, yeah. It's our list. We get to make those calls.
Yep. The question is where in B.
I can't put him below Edmure.
Alright, we'll put him between Edmure and Asha then.
I can't put, like, for all of his sins, Randall Tarly is competent, and I can't put him below Edmure for that.
Mm-hmm. Poor Edmure.
Rattleshirt. Is he still alive?
No, he did. He
Good.
got swapped out with Mance Rayder.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I forgot that they did that.
Yeah. They didn't do it in the show because the show people are dumbasses.
Oh, I mean, it gave us a very entertaining scene where fucking Tormund just beat him to death with his own staff.
That was fun, but at the same time, like, it deprived us of Mance Rayder, so...
Yeah. Rattleshirt is kind of a dick, isn't he, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, not a particularly entertaining one either.
Just sort of there to be a douche to Jon when he's with the wildlings.
More or less, yeah.
Is he a douche enough to make it to D, or is he sticking in C?
I mean, he does have a cool aesthetic, if nothing else.
He has a cool aesthetic, yeah, I suppose I'll stick him in C. I mean, impact-wise, his death saves Mance Rayder, to be fair, but is that really his impact?
He didn't do it voluntarily.
So yeah, it's not really his impact then if he didn't do it voluntarily. Development, yep. No. Interest, no. Yeah, he's
very low C.
Very low C.
The aesthetic can only save him so much. Do we want to put him above or below the Kettleblack brothers?
I'm thinking around pt.3. Who also
above or below him?
Let's go below. Magic is cooler than bones.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
You know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you remember the scene, right?
Oh, bone. Right. I thought you gasped. I was like, oh god, what happened?
No. Bone! That scene still gets me.
Renly Baratheon.
Renly is actually surprisingly impactful, even though he only lasts a book and a half.
Yeah. Are you going to call his death burying the gays?
I mean, he didn't get killed because he was gay, and he's not the only gay character in the books. He is probably the most politically important one, but he's not the only one. He also did get killed because he was trying to murder his brother, so...
Let's be real, he was a big old dumbass for getting involved.
Yeah, no, like, if he hadn't declared himself king, then the War of the Kings probably wouldn't have happened, and most of the other factions would have allied against the Lannisters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's the reason the war happened.
Let's be real, Tywin Lannister is not going to be able to fight against a joint force of...
Riverlands, Stormlands, and the North.
Dragonstone, the Reach, the Stormlands, and the North, and the Riverlands. Yeah, that's five of the 7 kingdoms intent on fucking them up. Not even.
Yeah, Renly basically single-handedly fucks it over.
Are you going to take points away from that, or add points?
Well, it's an impact thing. So
yeah.
Add points, I guess. Also, like, he is very deftly characterized.
Interest, I mean, not really at this point. Being dead really sort of curtails how interesting you are.
Especially if you don't have any intrigue as to how you died or why. He did get murked by a shadow, but that's more Melisandre.
Yeah, we know what happened on that front. I mean, the interesting thing is that Stannis is still somewhat angsting about their last conversation.
That goddamn peach.
Yeah, that fucking peach. But let's be real, we're not getting an answer for that, so.
No. It is a puzzle to be puzzled over.
Development, maybe negative development, seeing as he, was a dumbass, but
he did at least have development in his relationship with Tyrells.
Yeah. So where does it?
Low B.
Yeah, I was gonna say, certainly in the B's.
Let's put him below Edmure, because at least Edmure didn't catastrophically fuck everything up to the degree Renly did. Am I wrong?
Well, his again, correct me if I'm wrong. This might have been a show thing, but didn't he fuck up at one point?
Edmure?
Yeah. And attack.
He strategically fucked up.
Yeah, strategically fucked up.
He won a battle that he wasn't supposed to even engage in.
Yeah, which forced.
Which led Tywin staying in the Riverlands as opposed to moving to the Westerlands where he would have been trapped.
But,
so basically,
but to try and draw Tywin into the Westerlands, the Starks then went into the Westerlands themselves to head towards Casterly Rock, which is where Rob met
Tywin in.
Which is where John met Rob met Jane Westerling.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole bullshit occurred.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Edmure fucked up by attacking Tywin's forces and pushing them out because he thought he was defending Rob's rear guard.
But
when it turns out, no, he was supposed to attack after they'd already made it into the Westerlands to trap them in there.
But my point is that Edmure's dumbassery did sort of lead to the Red Wedding.
That was one of many contributing factors.
It was, but it's an interesting thought process of would Walder Frey have accepted Tywin's offer if Rob was still willing to marry one of his daughters and hadn't broken that agreement?
That is a question. I mean, Walder is also an opportunistic asshole, though. And we will get to him.
He is. Certainly the fanfiction I read seems to think that he wouldn't have gone through with it. But, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I still would put Renly just below Edmure because, Renly is a larger scale fuck-up.
Yeah, I did. Resnack Mo Resnack. This is one of Daenerys' advisors in Meereen, isn't it?
Probably. Hold on. I'm looking up right now.
I think this is the political advisor.
Ah, yes. He is her seneschal.
Yes.
Daenerys also thinks that he is pretty sus, but that's Daenerys. No, Barristan also doesn't trust him.
Ah, fair enough. Daenerys we can write off as paranoia. Barristan is a little more level-headed. So he might just be sus.
That he was arrested alongside Hizdahr, but no real word on that for sure. Yeah. All we really know about them is that he is a perfumed seneschal who Quaitha probably warned Daenerys about.
I mean, there's the intrigue factor of if he's a traitor or not, so that helps him. He hasn't had much of an impact yet that we know of, and certainly nothing in the way of development, and nothing really in the way of badassery. But I think interest will probably stick him in mid-C.
I'd say mid-low C.
Yeah.
Probably around the Strickland zone.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll stick him above Homeless Harry.
Poor Homeless Harry.
Rhaegar. Dragon number 2.
One of Daenerys' smaller dragons. This is the cunning one, I believe.
Do we approve or disapprove of the fact that he and his brother murdered Quinton?
I mean, Quentin did try to whip them into following him, so...
Oh, I mean, he deserved it then.
He was trying to tame the dragons, and they were like, "What's this dumbass doing?" Rawr. You don't bully a dragon.
No.
That never ends well.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, Rhaegal's the sneaky one of the three.
Right.
If I recall correctly.
I mean, dragon badassery alone gets you into B, so...
Mm-hmm. Having a little bit of draconic characterization, it also bumps you up.
Hmm.
Even if he is an animal, he still has a personality.
Yep. So... I'd say at least above Grey Wind.
Mm-hmm. That seems about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daenerys' other two dragons not named Drogon probably belong in B.
Yeah. They just haven't gone to do as much because they've been locked up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Rhaegar Targaryen. The dumbass. The dumbass who thought with his dick and ruined the kingdom.
On the other hand, he could have been a much better king than his father.
Yes, and that's the point. If he hadn't have done that, the implication was that there was... I think that the implication was that there was basically a coup brewing.
A coup for yeah. And it's likely that that Aerys would have been deposed in favor of Rhaegar.
Yep.
Who, by all accounts, was, besides that one incident with Lyanna, was a wise and good man.
But all it took was 5 minutes of thinking with his dick, and it all went down the drain.
Yep.
All downhill from here.
So on the one hand, he did kind of fuck everything up, but on the other hand, his impact on the narrative is insanely massive.
Oh yeah, I mean the impact-wise, he's going high.
Also, very good complex characterization helps a lot as well.
I'm thinking somewhere in A.
Yeah. Also, apparently, he was badass enough to that Robert actually struggled to fight him a little bit.
I mean, he had the respect of his entire Kingsguard, is the point.
Yep. I mean, he beat Barristan Selmy in a joust. So
yeah. And Barristan
he literally just...
Barristan
still regrets not winning that.
Still regrets winning that, but still holds him in high regard, is the point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Barristan
seems to be a lot that Barristan doesn't know, though.
No. He wasn't fully in Rhaegar's confidences.
Mm-hmm.
Impact alone, I think he has to be on the top row somewhere.
I'd probably put him around Aegon-ish. Like, maybe right below Aegon.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Rickard Carstark.
This asshole.
I guess he's an asshole, but... Yeah, he murdered
2 kids.
He does murder 2 kids. But he was grief-stricken.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse.
No, but it saves him... The kid killing would probably get him in E.
In D.
But the fact that he was grief-stricken, I think, bumps him up to low D.
Mm. He does have a good final line before he gets beheaded by Robb, so that's cool. So his last words are neat. Nothing else. I'd probably put him above the Frey.
Aemon?
Above Aemon, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Murdering 2 kids just because you're grieving is not cool.
Yeah.
And that's really the only thing of impact that he does in the narrative.
Innocent kids at that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, there are guilty kids, like little shit Walder.
Yeah. Rickon
Stark.
Rickon Stark.
The least
youngest.
characterized of the Stark brood, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he's like 5.
Yeah. He is a little babby boy who is stressed.
He might have turned feral though, which is quite neat.
Yep. I think that merits a B tier.
Does it?
God, he's a Stark kid.
Yeah, but if we'd gotten confirmation that he was feral, I could see putting him low B.
You're right. He is on an island full of cannibals, though.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Would we count it as his impact that he solved the keystone in Wyman's plan?
Maybe.
I don't really think so. I still say high C.
No. Okay, let's put him right below his uncle then.
Yeah.
Actually, no. We'll put him below Illyrio.
Robb Stark, the young wolf. The dead wolf.
Yes. Thinks was his honor boner.
Dumbass.
Yes, but he's a well-characterized dumbass.
He is.
Pretty well-characterized for someone who isn't a POV character.
Because we only ever see things from Catelyn's perspective, don't we?
Correct. He and Rickon are the only Stark kids that we don't have.
So... What do you think?
Probably high B, low A.
Yeah.
He's a very impactful character, and his actions are still felt even long after his death.
Mm-hmm. Let's say high B.
Where in B? Like around Connington?
Yeah. Let's say below Jon Arryn. I think is a good place because yeah, impact is pretty fucking high. He has a big impact on the early part of the narrative. Development, he sort of develops backwards, the dumbass. But he does grow into a leader, and then he throws it all away for a woman.
To be fair, he had to prevent himself from dishonoring her.
Then he shouldn't have done the deed in the first place, the fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Pull out, man. An interest, again, not much interest when you're dead.
Fair enough.
Though we'll give him badass points.
I mean, that could bump him up to low A. He never lost a single battle, which is pretty badass.
Yeah. Alright, low A. Above or below Marjorie?
Below Marjorie. Marjorie is much more savvy than Robb Stark.
Oh, 100%. Little Robert Arryn.
A.K.A. Sweet Robin.
A.K.A. possibly a sociopath? Certainly a spoiled brat.
It's hard to say. Yeah, he's a brat and he is likely doomed to die young.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for his life expectation around Littlefinger.
Good old Littlefinger, I think, is already poisoning him.
Probably. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I wouldn't put past Littlefinger.
So, impact? Not really.
I mean, he is the sole living direct heir to the Arryn name, so once he's gone, that's Keystone.
Yeah, but he's still around and still being a brat, so...
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have much impact on his own. It's based on who's around him and what's going to happen there.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's his impact necessarily. Development. Is he getting better?
I think so. He is starting to learn to be better because of Sansa.
And the fact that, Lysa is now dead.
Mm-hmm. Lysa was the worst influence on him, just coddling him constantly.
So I'll give him points on a development front. Interest. The Aaron storyline is not that interesting, all told.
Mm-hmm.
So, mid to low C.
Yeah. Below Old Nan, probably.
Old Nan. Yeah. Robert
the First Baratheon.
Robert Baratheon, first of his name.
Mm-hmm. So, he immediately gets points for being an absolute badass, one of the best warriors of his time. But he also loses points for being an abusive dick to his wife.
Yeah. And, being a serial adulterer.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, Cersei's also doing it.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, but 3 rights make a left.
And 2 rights make a hell of an airplane.
Yeah, no. Robert.
I think without those, just based on badass on alone, he would go into A. But the points we've brought up brings him down to B.
I mean, he is still a fascinating character. Going to show what projecting feelings and grief can do to a person. He just decayed so much after actually sitting the throne.
Yeah.
Because he was a warrior first and foremost, and he did not know how to rule.
Yeah. And again, he's not built for the politicking of King's Landing at all.
Nope. He is basically the example of how not to be a king.
Yeah.
Because he's just so lazy and hands off, and doesn't want to do it. He doesn't really want the job.
No.
But he got it anyways.
Honestly, you get the impression that if he all he really wanted to do was basically take off, head to Essos and join one of the sellsword companies there.
Oh, he would thrive there.
But alas, he doesn't get that opportunity.
Nope. I think he discussed it with Ned at some point, either in the show or in the books. Maybe both. Just sticking off to Essos and being a sellsword king.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is still a fascinating character. If he is a kind of an asshole.
Yeah. I suppose his death does bring the War of the Five Kings to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least a succession crisis, but it's also not solely on him.
Oh, the succession crisis is definitely not his fault, but he did trigger it by dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say, low A, high B?
Low A, then. Sticking below his son.
Low Gendry, yep, that sounds about right. Robert Strong.
So, Robert Strong.
Newest member of the Kingsguard, and, oh boy. He doesn't have a lot of characterization, or because he's freshly introduced and all that, but he's also a quite possibly headless Rhaegar Targaryen revived by Qyburn, with none of Gregor's vices to hold him back.
Maybe instead of being headless, he's got some dwarf heads shoved in there.
Mm-hmm. And based on Bran's vision of him, there might be nothing under that helm.
Yeah.
He doesn't eat or sleep or anything. So yeah, he is a fucking zombie knight, which is pretty rad in concept.
It is, and because there is no confirmation yet. We are keeping him and Gregor's sins separate. So
we have no idea if he actually indulges in anything that Gregor does or not. But by all indications, he's just like a zombie with no real will of his own.
So, are we gonna rank him based on what we suspect his badassery is? On the assumption that he is Gregor Clegane.
He is still fucking huge, and also just like he is just like there's a lot that can be done with him. He is still fascinating that way.
Yeah. So where do you think?
Probably somewhere mid-C.
I'd go high C.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because we've got the potential badass factor, and there is some level of interest in what he's going to be used to do, and if he is the decapitated corpse of the mountain.
Blow or rain,
then. Okay, Sir Roderick Castle.
A loyal man to the end.
Yeah. Did his best with the bullshit handed to him. Interest, not much. Development, not much. Badassery, I think, is relatively high. I mean, he's not like particularly up there, but can certainly defend himself. Impact? Do you have much of an impact? I mean, he
he is an advisor to Bran for most of Clash of Kings.
Yeah. Theon
is reasonable.
Theon still beheads him, right?
No, that's in the show. In the books, Ramsay kills him.
Oh. How?
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's when Ramsay invades and slices and cuts Roderick's arm off and lets him bleed out.
Oh.
Before he sacks Winterfell.
Damn it. Fucking Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay's an asshole.
So somewhere in C for Roderick.
Yeah.
Let's say above Mace Tyrell.
Sure. Man, C-tier is fucking huge.
We are probably going to have to go at the end and see if we, don't want to move some of them up or down.
Roderick Carlisle, Roderick the Reader.
One of the few good Iron Islanders.
Yeah, but an Ironborn who's actually good and interesting.
Yep. He is the
He's Asha and Theon's uncle.
Yeah, maternal uncle.
A.k.a. one of her only good uncles. Probably her only good uncle, actually.
Yeah, no, her only good uncle.
I mean, looking at the competition, not a high bar.
It's not a high bar, no. But it's one he passes with a plum, to be fair. He seems like a decent enough guy. Stuck in a fucking hellhole for a man of his tastes.
He is honestly really fascinating being an Ironborn who actually, is a scholar.
Yeah.
He's still a ship captain, so that's neat.
He's not had much of an impact, really, has he?
No, I believe he backs he's one of the first to back Asha during the Kingsmoot.
Yeah.
But beyond that,
Euron won that, didn't he?
yep, Euron won.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh yeah, he's also the one who tells Asha to scram before Euron tries to do some shit to her while he's busy during Kingsmoot or in the aftermath of that.
Probably a smart move. Again, I'm thinking sort of mid-high C.
I'd say high C. Him being an outlier amongst the Ironborn does at least merit a fairly high placing.
Yeah. We want to put him above the Cook?
Yes. Put him above Lancel.
Sir Rolly Duckfield, one of young Griff's compatriots.
I believe he is the first of young Griff's Kingsguard, if I recall correctly.
But Jack, why would young Griff need a Kingsguard?
Yeah, it's funny that. We'll get to that. I remember John Connington is kind of annoyed by this because Raleigh is kind of a mediocre knight, so even if he's loyal, it's like, come on, save the spots of the Kingsguard for some really good knights and some political appointments.
If I recall correctly, he's also got a somewhat inappropriate sense of humor. Certainly, like, not much tact.
Yeah, he's a lowborn, and I believe, if I recall correctly, he was a smith before he became a before he got knighted.
Right.
I believe he was, he was a smith, and then John Connington made him a squire. So he's a little interesting at the very least.
I'm still thinking we stick him with Halden Halfmaester.
I'm fine with that. We put Halden.
Lowish C.
Yeah, we'll put him right above Halden.
Yeah. Ruse Bolton.
This one's a fun antagonist.
Has he died in the books yet?
Nope.
Still alive.
He's still alive. Yeah. Like, where the books leave off, he sends the Manderley and Frey forces out to meet Stannis to prevent them from causing a bloodbath in Winterfell. Because of all the fighting between them.
I imagine, I imagine that's going to go about as well as the Iscariot organization thinking the Temple of Beth Zion would assist them in Helsing Ultimate Abridged.
Yes. No, Stannis has a Planus. And it's going to go very poorly for the Freys.
Even if Stannis didn't have a Planus, I'm just imagining that, the Manderley forces would just, like the charge gets called and the Freys charge forward and the Manderleys stop.
Yeah. No, we can go into Stannis' Planus when we get to Stannis, the Manus.
But Roose.
Ruse Bolton is a fascinating antagonist and also just a prime example of how awful the nobility of Westeros can be.
Yeah.
Because I believe he's the only present-day lord who has been confirmed to take advantage of the right of first night, which has been illegal for over 200 years.
Yeah. Also likes flaying.
Yep. Flay it off! Sorry. But yes, still a really interesting antagonist because he is a very tactically minded one. He, as part of his deal with Tywin, he strategically bleeds Robb's forces out in a way that doesn't diminish his forces at all. So I believe that does merit at least some recognition of his skill.
I'm thinking B.
Yeah, B sounds about right. Around the realm of near some of the other good antagonists in B seems appropriate. We could put him in the Eris realm, or we could put him in the Mir Mazdor realm. I'd say on the higher end, though.
I don't think quite near the top of B.
Maybe mid B then.
Yeah.
How about below Big Dick Penrose?
I was about to say the same thing. Oh, still funny. Rouge, the last of the prisoners. Yeah.
Our next F tier. Bottom of F tier because he's a pedophile.
Oh, okay. Salladhor Saan.
Man, Salladhor Saan is really fun in the show. I don't remember much of him from the books, though.
Yeah, it's the actor. The actor fucking hammed it up. That dude was wonderful.
Absolutely fantastic.
I think he is. I think he is still. Yeah, I think he is still fun. Still fun to an extent in the books because I think he does have a good dynamic with Davos. But yeah, the actor, as I said, just hamming it the fuck up really helped things in the show. But regardless of that, he's still a pirate lord with a fuck ton of ships.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, most of the ships were smashed by a storm in Dance.
He also, I'm fairly sure, knows when to nope out.
Yeah, he dipped to the Stepstones, and now he's a pirate lord again.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least he didn't toss Davos overboard like he was threatening to do.
Good dynamic.
And he still
dynamic.
And he still does help out Stannis for quite a bit before he finally just loses faith with Stannis' cause.
Can't exactly blame him.
Mm-hmm.
Things for a while did not go well for Stannis the Manus.
Yeah, Stannis was not in a great place for a while.
He's still not in a brilliant place, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll turn around.
Who knows? So where do we put Salladhor?
I don't know. I see.
Yeah.
Low B maybe if you want to argue for it, but I'd say high C.
Nah, I'm thinking high C.
Above or below Cuck Lord?
Above.
Between Cuck Lord and Roderick then?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Samwell Tarly.
This one's an easy A tier.
At least A, if not S.
Yeah. Sam's
a good B.
I'd say, yeah, Sam is a good B. I'd say just below Brienne.
I mean, he did kill the first White Walker in, like, centuries.
True, that is very true.
If not millennia.
But he did do it by luck more than anything else.
He still charged the fucking ice monster.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Him killing it was a matter of luck.
Yeah.
His bravery was still commendable. But
not to mention, you know, he's been a loyal friend to Jon. Good advisor to him, frankly. And, you know, Jon would not be in the place where he is without Sam.
Sam did kind of politic behind the scenes to get Jon elected Lord Commander.
Yeah. And, you know, just aiding in Jon's development, if nothing else. So that's a big impact there.
You know what? Yeah, let's put him at the bottom of S.
Yeah.
S for Sam.
And, you know, his development on his own is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is basically, at this point, a true man of the Night's Watch.
Yep.
Considering where he started from, that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
The Hound, Sandor Clegane.
Another easy A tier, if ever I saw one. his dynamic with his brother Joffrey and Sansa is just so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
You could write whole essays on those dynamics alone.
He's very much a tragic figure who almost became a monster because that was what the world expected him to be.
Mm-hmm.
But once he gets away from the Lannisters, he's not a good guy per se, but he is better.
Yeah.
And he does his best to look after Arya.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, his dynamic with the Stark sisters is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Even if I do find it creepy that people ship him and Sansa together.
Yeah, he's like twice her age.
Yep.
How old is he? He is almost 30.
Okay, that's right. I always get confused because fucking Rory Mccann just is like in his 40s or 50s.
Yeah, no, he's like 29 in the books.
Yeah, he's a lot younger in the books. Right, okay. Makes it a little better. A little better. It's still not good.
I mean, Sansa's still like 13, so...
Oh god, that's right, she is. Yeah, no, it's still bad. It's still bad.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't seem to be as romantically attracted to her as she is to him. Because she has, like, a very strong attraction to Sandor. Yeah, it seems he does care for her for no other reason than he sees himself in her a little bit. Someone who believes in the old tales of knights and ladies and chivalry and is probably disillusioned by an abusive person who they were supposed to trust in.
Yeah.
So I can see the parallels there.
Not to mention, he is badass.
He's incredibly badass. He's one of the best fighters in the series.
So if he doesn't have his fight with Brienne, how does he end up in the state that Arya leaves him in?
He gets wounded in a bar fight, and that wound gets infected.
Man, I really prefer the show's take on it.
Yeah, the show works a lot better. That's one of the areas where the show did a lot better than the books.
Yeah.
I suppose it's realistic for him to get an infected wound, and he won't let Arya cauterize it. But like, I really wish that the show that the books had gone more in the same direction the show did.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is implied to be the gravedigger on the Quiet Isle that Brienne visits.
Yeah. So we might still have that fight coming. Who knows?
The Game Bowl better be better in the books than it is in the show.
It's not bad in the show.
Yeah, but it's like in the show it was taking place during a lot of other shit surrounding it.
Yeah. Like, look, there's a lot of shit to give the show for those final moments, or those final episodes, but like I think Clegane Bowl was still pretty good.
Clegane Bowl was still pretty good, and it was hype.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as satisfying as if Sandor had actually managed to fight, proper living Gregor rather than just zombie Gregor, but,
Mm-hmm. I mean, Oberyn deserved to get that kill.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who had it out for the mountain, and someone had to be the one to do him in.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we going to put Sandor?
Probably in mid-high A.
Yeah.
He's still a really well-developed character, and just absolutely fantastic as a fighter. Not to mention, he is basically, him leaving is one of the catalysts for Joffrey starting to go off the rails.
Yeah. Above or below the animals?
Above. Though it is fair to group him with them. He is a hound, after all.
Mm-hmm. Pretty bitchin' helmet as well.
Oh, yeah. Too bad Rory stole it. No reason to hate the fucker.
Yep. Sansa Stark.
It is kind of funny that these two are right next to each other on the tier list.
Yeah.
Sansa, I think, is another good A-tier character. She develops a lot over the course of the books. He's one of those classic examples of how women can use femininity as a tool and a weapon of their own to get by in such a very harshly anti-woman world.
Mm. So where do you think an A tier?
Pretty high, honestly. She's still in the middle of her development, but she is turning into quite the cunning player in the game. And she hasn't lost her compassion or her kindness either in the process.
Mm.
Which is important, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd say high A. Question where precisely do we want to put her?
Below Rhaegar?
Below Rhaegar seems about fair.
Selyse Florent, aka Stannis' wife.
I really do not like this woman.
Yeah, she's kind of the worst.
She is a religious fanatic.
Yeah.
And also just really shitty to her daughter.
Yeah.
Not really much redeeming about her, honestly.
Yeah, she didn't really have an impact, does she?
Not a lot of characterization either.
Not very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
D?
Her daughter is a lot more interesting than she is.
Oh, yeah.
D, yeah. Yeah, she's kind of a religious fanatic for one of the worst religions of the series.
Yeah.
To be fanatic for.
I don't think I don't think I can put her below the likes of Osney, though.
No, probably between Harry the Heir and Osney.
Yeah. Shae.
Shae, who is a much worse character in the books than she is in the show.
Yeah.
Well, not worse so much as she's less characterized in the books, and also she's a lot less likable.
Mm.
She's very mercenary, you know?
Yeah. Can't deny she has an impact, though.
Oh, yeah, no. Everything goes to shit because of her, basically. At least for Tyrion.
It's basically her testimony that gets Tyrion convicted.
Yep. She's all too willing to get paid off.
Yeah.
I mean, well done example of don't trust the person you're paying if you can't keep paying them properly.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd say mid C.
Hmm. Around who do you think?
Probably around Harry. No, she's much more impactful than Harry. Probably above Obara.
Obara. I think she has more impact than that, honestly.
You want to put her closer to what, like Jane Westerling?
Yeah, I think below Jane.
Seems fair. They both have similar impacts but she more deliberately fucks over her man than Jane does.
Yeah. Shagga, son of Dolph.
I love the Mountain Clansmen. They're great. They don't do much, but they're fun.
Yeah. Still a very funny scene when, again, this might just be show only. I honestly can't remember, but when Tyrion is confronting Pycelle, having figured out he's the leak, cut off his manhood and feed him to the goats. There are no goats, half man. Well, make do. Anyway, badass factor probably stick Shagga up to mid to low C. Let's say with Dagmar Cleftjaw.
Sounds about right.
Shaggy Dog. You want to just stick him up with his owner?
Sounds about right.
Shaggy Dog goes above because, yeah, Direwolf.
Yes.
Shireen Baratheon.
Oh, do we put Shagga above or below Dagmar?
Above.
Right. Yeah, Shireen. Shireen's a fun character. A really nice character.
She's a very nice person. She's, she helped teach Davos how to read. So we can give her that impact at the very least. Not much in the way of development, I don't think.
Not really. I mean, she is mostly a child, and she's there to be Stannis' heir.
Yeah. And to be honest, the interest in her is more to do with is book Stannis going to go through with what show Stannis did?
I hope not.
Really hope not, yeah.
There is also the interesting tidbit that Val is horrified by her grayscale scars because she doesn't think that that means that she's necessarily cured of it. So there's the implication that her grayscale, despite seemingly being dormant, might not be.
Yeah. So I think mid to high C.
I'd say high C. She's still a sweetheart, and she does teach Davos how to read, which is nice.
Yeah. Above Jane Poole.
Sounds good.
Sigorn. I don't know him. Or her.
He is the current Magner of the Fen.
Ah.
The guy who married Alice Karstark.
Ah. Is he a good dude?
Well, indications, yeah.
Aren't Thens cannibals?
I don't know. It's more in the show than in the books, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, that's a show thing.
Fair enough. Where do we want to put Sigorn then?
Yeah, I see. He's apparently surprisingly tender with his new wife, which is nice.
Low refuge in Audacity or Rain Waters?
Low refuge in Audacity or Rain Waters.
Skahaz Kandak the Shave Pate, if I am remembering correctly.
Oh, Shave Pate. Shave Pate's fun.
One of the few marine advisors for Daenerys who is actually fairly decent.
Yep. Yeah, he shaves his head to show that he's abandoned the old marine ways.
And he's constantly like, fuck him up, Daenerys.
Yeah.
So... what has he done other than just advocate for war?
He also helps Barristan with his taking control of Meereen in Daenerys' absence.
Good for him. And considering he's the war advisor, he's fairly badass, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, by all indications.
Certainly wouldn't want to come across him in a dark alley.
Nope.
So... what are we thinking then? High C?
High HC.
Above Makoto?
Sounds about right.
Some of these C placements are just random.
To be fair, a lot of these are more minor characters.
Yeah. Stafford Lannister. The fuck's he?
He is, I believe, he is Jaime's maternal uncle. Jaime and Tyrion and Cersei's maternal uncle.
Right. What does he do?
When he dies during Clash of Kings.
Right. There's sounding Archibald levels.
Mm-hmm.
Does he do anything to prove or disprove that? Disprove as in, should he go a tier lower?
There is literally nothing about him besides his relationship to a more important character that makes him any remotely interesting. I'm surprised Stafford's on here, not his son Davin.
Yeah, well, into the Archibald level of C he goes.
Yep.
King Stannis Baratheon. Stannis the Manus. Stannis that got shafted by the show.
The showrunners hated him for some inexplicable reason, and I will never understand why. S tier.
Wow.
Look, he's a really well-characterized character, okay?
I'm going to say below Ned.
Below Ned. Stannis is a well-proven tactical mind, strategic mind, and also just, like, a really hardcore badass guy. Like, he's also really complex.
Yeah, he has sort of been taken in by R'hllor.
That is the one docking factor to him. That and his rigidity.
Yeah, he's not flexible enough. He would probably honestly be not great king.
Oh yeah, I believe someone characterized him as being like iron.
Yeah.
Hard and strong, but also brittle.
Yeah. He would break. He would break.
Yes. Which is unfortunate because he is a very he is an advocate for equality and merit.
Yeah.
Over the typical approach of most of Westeros. No wonder Stannis is Davos so loyal to Stannis.
He's a good lord. He'd be a bad king.
Mm-hmm.
Steer the previous Magnar of the Thens?
Correct.
Yeah.
He dies during the Wildling invasion.
Yeah.
I believe. Oh, he tries to scale the wall and he scales the wall and he dies in the Battle of Castle Black.
Cool. Sucks to be him. Does he do anything
Not really
objectionable, or is that it?
Not to my knowledge.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing. Hold on, let me look up the TV tropes because I might go into more detail than the Wookiee. The Wookiee doesn't really do a lot of characterization stuff unless they're like a significant character. Oh, he buys into the image of Thens being 10 leaders being gods. But he's also one of the few wildlings who's smart enough to wear armor. Oh yeah, he just straight gets knocked off the fucking wall.
Oh, sucks to be him. I'm going to put him above Rattleshirt for the, smartness of wearing armor, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rattleshirt just wears bones.
Summer. Bran's Direwolf.
We get a lot more of him than we do of Shaggy.
Yeah. Probably
around a little bit above Greywind.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's not. We don't see him doing as much badass stuff as Ghost and Nymeria, but we see him more than we see Greywind.
I'm thinking above Rhaegar as well, actually.
Sounds about right. That's fair. And next, just so.
Serio Pharrell.
Oh, Serio. They picked a really good actor to play him in the show.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. The first sword of Braavos does not run.
Badass factor alone gets him in B.
Not to mention just his kindness and patient teaching of Arya is really great.
Impact-wise, does Arya get as far as she does with Jack and Hagar without Serio Pharrell?
Probably not. Like, Serio is her introduction to people from the Free Cities, for one, and Braavos in particular.
So, I'm thinking mid-B.
Yeah. Probably... we're in B.
Above Beric Dondarrion?
Yeah, above Beric seems about right. Taena Merryweather.
You're going to have to remind me on this one.
She is a Marish woman who married one of the Lord Merryweather, and also as part of Cersei's group, and is her occasional bedtime companion, though Cersei doesn't really seem to be into it.
Right.
Taena does, though.
More fooled her.
Yeah.
Not that, liking being with women, but liking being with Cersei.
Yeah. I think it's more the former than the latter, but who knows?
C.
Yeah, C. Oh, Cersei actually thinks of her as her only true friend. That's actually kind of sad.
Yeah, it really kind of is. Below Chitaya?
Above Chitaya. At least she was loyal, if nothing else. Even if she was loyal to a really awful person.
Fair enough. The Tattered Prince, who is head of a sellsword company.
He's a mercenary.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one was it.
The Windblown.
Windblown, that's right. Don't have the greatest of reputations, if I recall correctly.
No, the Golden Company is the sellsword company with the highest reputation that I can think of.
I seem to recall the Windblown have a reputation for turning their coats. Or cloaks. But, still, badass enough to have, gone to the head of a sellsword company, so I'll give him that. You want to put him below Homeless Harry, then?
Oh, he was the Prince of Pentos a while ago.
The Waif.
And he is... Waif is a lot different in the books than in the show.
Yeah. Less antagonistic?
Oh, yeah. Much less antagonistic.
I think they thought that there needs to be an antagonist for Arya's storyline, otherwise it wouldn't be entertaining.
Yeah, they were dumb.
So what?
I'm trying to look up the Faceless Men, and there she is. There is. She does give a backstory to Arya that may or may not be true.
Right.
Which is a really fascinating one, where it's like she was the first daughter of a wealthy man in Braavos. Her father remarried, and a whole wicked stepmother thing played out. And her stepmother tried to blind her, yada yada. Her father then has the Faceless Men kill her treacherous stepmother and trades both the waif and about 2/3 of his wealth to the House of Black and White in exchange.
Is the waif blind?
No, but the poisoning barely stunted her growth, I believe.
Right. Faceless. Well, even a Faceless Man trainee, still pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly been helping train Arya.
Yep.
I
mean, she's no Jaqen Hagar, but she's still a pretty interesting character, especially if that backstory is true.
Yeah. Hi, C.
Hi, C. Probably around. Let's put her below a reign.
All right.
Theon Greyjoy.
Oh, Theon.
Probably one of the most well-executed character arcs in the series. Because goddamn, does he go on a fucking roller coaster ride of highs and lows?
Mostly lows.
Mostly lows, but he's starting to get better for once.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Let's hope he survives the night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's looking very likely that Stannis will execute him, but who knows? Maybe something will happen to intervene.
For Stannis to execute him, Stannis needs to win and be alive.
Are you doubting Stannis the Manus' Planus?
I don't know. We didn't end up discussing Stannis' plan when we discussed Stannis.
Let's discuss it now. This is a good time as any.
Yeah.
So he's basically set up camp on the opposite side of some frozen lakes from Winterfell, and has set up a watchtower with a light on it, with fire going on it. So he could do a false lighthouse strategy and move the light during the blizzard to trick the enemy forces into walking onto the frozen lakes, and then falling through the ice. Which is a pretty damn good strategy, using the terrain to his advantage.
It is. I think I think it'll come down to whether he does the same as his show counterpart or not.
Unlikely. I mean, Shireen is nowhere near him right now anyway. She's back at the wall.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, also, like, this wasn't explicitly spelled out as a plan, but it's implied based on the terrain and his previous tactics and what we know of them. Yeah, Theon doesn't really factor into his plans right now beyond, like, beheading him to appease the Northern Lords.
Fair.
So he was planning to burn Theon before he decided to honor Asha's request to behead him before a werewood. Which means that Bran might intervene.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
That could be fun. Yeah,
tell you what. Again, the show has many sins. I think they did Theon pretty well.
They did Theon's arc very well.
Yeah.
I think Theon was one of the last well-written bits of season 8.
Yeah.
I'd say he's an A-tier character, though, just because of his extremely strong character arc. It takes a lot to pull a character back into redeemable character irredeemable character territory after all the shit Theon's done.
Yeah.
But George pulled it off.
Good old Gurm.
Mm-hmm. Also, Theon has suffered so goddamn much.
Yeah, he's suffered to the point where, like, okay, he's paid for his sins now, it's just gratuitous.
Yeah, no one should have to deal with Ramsay for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say A tier, definitely.
Yeah.
If not S.
Bottom of S?
Bottom of S, yeah. Just a really well done character growth.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Thoros of Myr.
Oh, Thoros. Love the drunkard priest.
Gonna say right away, giving him badass points for the fact that he entered the breach at Pike wielding a flaming sword.
Oh, absolutely.
That is some badass points right there. He's also the one who, R'hllor through him, kept Beric alive and then resurrected Lady Stoneheart.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else of note that he does?
Well, he does. He's still sticking around with the Brotherhood, though he's not happy about it.
Yeah. Where did we put Melisandre?
We put Melisandre in high B, I believe.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, near the top of B.
Thoros, I think, is probably low B.
Mm-hmm. He's not as characterized as Melisandre, and not as enigmatic. He's still a fun character, though.
Yeah.
I'd say we put him around Osha.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe a bit lower. Right below her.
Yeah.
He gets more badass points than Randyll Tarly because he uses a flaming sword.
What's very interesting is that in the fan fiction I read, he and Osha started banging.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so I'm not against putting them together.
That is hilarious.
The Three-Eyed Crow.
You know who he is, right? His actual name, right? Good old Bloodraven.
Bloodraven, yeah.
Such a fascinating character. We still don't know what his endgame is either.
Yeah. He is an interesting one, that is for sure. Impact, he's teaching Bran about the three-eyed raven crow stuff.
All about the werewolf stuff, yeah. All about being Greenseer.
Development,
I mean, his development's already long past.
Yeah. Very interesting, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely. He is an enigma, but also just like, from what we know of his backstory, goddamn, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
He's also the only example we have that is confirmed in the canon of the books of someone of a Stark, not a Stark, someone of the First Men, who is also a Targaryen, who is also a Valyrian. There are probably others, but he's the biggest example we got, and one of the few examples we see of mixing those two kinds of magic.
Yeah.
Which makes for something fascinating. Yeah. Very interesting spy master type, too. You get the sense that he's a very ruthless person, but not, but one who does it for what he thinks is a good cause.
I'm thinking mid to high B.
High B, at the very least. He's just so fascinating, you know?
Above Quaithe?
above. Just above Quaid.
Yeah.
They're both very mysterious individuals who are just absolutely magnets for fan speculation.
Yeah. Tibbet. Another one of the...
Someone of Timmet. Of the Burn Men.
I'm just going to stick him next to Shaga.
Shaga.
Yeah.
Seems appropriate. So many characters in B, I can't find where Shaga is.
Tom of Seven Strings.
Tom's an interesting one. He is one of the Brotherhood, but he's their bard and also their spy.
Yeah.
Good old Thomos Evans. He apparently made a song about Edmure Tully.
I'm going to assume it was.
Fish.
I was going to assume it wasn't complimentary.
No, it was because Edmure was supposed to lose his virginity and got too drunk and was unable to perform. So Tom made a song about floppy fish.
Yep.
Which, savage burn there.
Yeah. So,
but he is currently in the he was in the Lannister camp for a while, spying on Jaime. And then, I believe he is at Riverrun right now.
Right. Do we know how he feels about the whole Lady Stoneheart takeover?
He's still with the Brotherhood.
Right.
So he's fine with it. Also, he is sticking around Riverrun, and Jaime suggests that he court the favor of Jenna Lannister to get in good with her rather than Jenna's husband.
Probably a smart move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's indications that he is helping the Brotherhood set up an attack against the Freys at Riverrun.
It's not going to be a good...
something along those lines.
Winds of Winter probably isn't going to be a good book for the Freys, is it?
I mean, Dance with Dragons is not a good book for the Freys. Winds is going to be worse.
Because everywhere they go, it seems like somebody's planning to betray them.
To be fair, after what they did at the Red Wedding,
I'm not saying
anyone else.
No, I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying that, it's gonna be a bad time.
Oh yeah, they're definitely in for a bad time. But yeah, no, Tom is an interesting one. I do like bards like this. Mm. He's a good spy type character.
So mid-C. Let's put him above Lemon Cloak.
Mm-hmm. Seems fair.
Tommen Baratheon, the youngest Baratheon, youngest of Cersei's children.
Youngest of those siblings. Yeah. The babby.
Has he really done much, even if he is currently king?
He has been used to screw over Cersei by just getting him to sign and stamp stuff.
He does love
because
to
that's
stamp
what they've been doing this whole time. He does love to stamp stuff.
Yeah. Has he shown any sort of backbone? Like against Cersei?
Yeah, I believe he does. At one point, I don't recall when.
I assume via Jaime's influence.
Probably either that or Marjorie.
So.
There's also his kid, Sir Pounce.
Oh yeah, Sir Pounce.
Sir Pounce, aka the rebirth of Balerion the Black Dragon. I'm just kidding. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
It would. I'd just find it funny if that cat just fucking jumped on Cersei and tore out her throat.
Turns out Sir Pounce was the younger sibling of another cat. and thus Sir Pounce was the Valonqloir. Yeah, Tommen doesn't have as much characterization as even his older sister, so...
Yeah. So where do we put... We put Myrcella mid-C, so...
Well, probably... Let's put Tommen right below Aerys. Not too far from his sister, but, like...
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, some of that goodwill definitely comes from him being it comes from Sir Pounce. I'm gonna be real.
That's fair. Tormund Giantsbane.
I love Tormund. He's great in the show and in the books.
Yeah.
Again, also, he may or may not be the father of Mage Mormont's children.
I was not aware of that one.
It's a theory, because you know the story about his nickname, Husband to Bears, right?
Okay, yeah.
So there's a theory that the bear she-bear he was talking about was actually Mage Mormont's.
You know what? Fair play to him if he managed it.
Yeah, no, good for him.
Again, say what you will about the latter seasons of the show. It did have it might actually be my favorite bit of dialogue, in a comedic sense, which is when they're on their trip north of the wall to grab a white, and Tormund just goes, "Down south, the air smells like pig shit. You've never been down south. I've been to Winterfell. That's the north." I just find that exchange just so funny, and it's partly because of the sheer speed of Jon's answers of just, for fuck's sake, Tormund.
Tormund's great.
He is wonderful. I mean, I think it's another example of the actor just doing such a good fucking job just chewing the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so fucking happy Tommen survived all of this bullshit.
Yep. So in the books, last we saw him, he was at Castle Black, and about to leave for Hardhome right when Jon was mutinied.
Well, I'm glad he didn't make it to Hardhome, because that's probably not a good place for people.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's there who is probably gonna die.
Yeah. I fully admit I'm biased. I'm biased, but I want him to be in at least B.
Honestly, we could put him in low A. Tormund's a really fun character, and he's quite the badass because he was basically the leader of the Wildlings after Mance got captured.
Yeah.
So he's a full-fledged badass, really wonderfully characterized.
Yeah.
And just a really fun character.
Yeah. Fuck it. I want to stick him in A.
He goes in A.
I want to stick him just below Strong Belwas.
Fair enough. No, let's put him above Belwas. We see Tormund more.
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue about putting Tormund higher. If you want to keep arguing to put him higher and higher, I will keep going until he's above Arya.
No, we're not putting him in S.
He's my favorite.
He's not big enough to go in S.
He was my favorite character in the show, damn it.
I understand. Trystane Martell.
Trystane Martell, Myrcella's betrothed?
Yep.
Has he done much other than that?
Not really. He apparently gets along famously with Myrcella, though, which is nice.
Good for him.
So the betrothal might actually work out well.
Yeah.
Assuming Myrcella survives.
She's not in a good place.
No. And given all the prophecy bullshit going around, she might well die.
Yeah, no, I think she's pretty much certain to die.
Yeah. Poor girl.
Yeah.
Poor Myrcella and poor Tommen.
Yeah, they don't deserve it.
They doomed.
Yeah, they don't deserve this shit.
Joffrey deserved it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So... Where do we put Quentin?
We put Quentin at the bottom of B.
Right.
But Trystane is less characterized, so I feel it'd be more appropriate to put him right next to Myrcella.
You know, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Tycho Nestoris.
The Banker of Braavos.
Yes. What does he actually do in the books?
He is sent to the Wall to negotiate payment of the debt to the Iron Throne with Stannis.
Right.
Stannis isn't there, so he negotiates with Jon Snow for a loan to get food for the winter.
Right.
And then he goes to Deepwood Motte and takes the Ironborn with him looking for Stannis.
Right.
And he finally meets with Stannis in the preview chapters for wins.
Right, okay. Okay. So not a massive impact.
Yeah.
I admit I'm interested because there was a similar Iron Banker in the fanfiction that I've read who turned out to be a faceless man.
That would be fun, but unlikely here.
Who knows? I doubt they send just, general bankers out into the world on their own.
Mm.
And, obviously the Iron Bank does have a big connection with the Faceless Men.
That they do.
So it wouldn't shock me, but, that's a me thing rather than anything actually set up in the books. So,
they could probably just pay the Faceless Men to assassinate someone who doesn't pay their debts properly.
Exactly, that's almost certainly what they do.
I mean, it's a bit more indirect here because Tycho is dealing with Stannis because of Cersei refusing to pay the debts.
Yeah.
Because Cersei is a moron.
So, where do we put Tycho?
Tycho, I feel, is another C tier.
I mean, yeah, but it's more where in C tier. Does he make it up to the mid tier, or is he stuck in low tier?
Let's put him right below Dagmar.
Man, we are
somewhere in the middle.
We're splitting. We're not just have our own tiers. We're actually splitting C tier up into different tiers.
Yeah, C tier is huge because there's so many mid characters who are somewhere in the middle. None of them are so awful as to go out down to D tier, but none of them are good enough to get to the upper tiers.
I've got it. We'll obviously do this at the end, but I've got what we can do. Because, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Most of the people at the bottom of C tier don't deserve to go into D tier. So we make C minus tier.
C minus and C plus.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, Tywin Sands. She is the last of the Sand Snakes on this.
Yeah, last of the Sand Snakes on the list.
She is the poisoner, I believe, of the group.
Right. She also doesn't She doesn't look Dornish, based on that picture.
Yeah, no, she's the daughter of Oberyn with a septa, who was apparently from a different region.
Septa, huh?
So she took a lot. Yeah, she took a lot more after her mother than after her father.
Mm-hmm.
She's also very blonde, though. But then again,
dye exists. We know it does.
Yes. I would not be surprised if Lemore is her mother.
Yeah. Bit interesting twist, anyway. What does she have any sort of big minor role, anything in the events of Dawn?
She is apparently the best friend of Arianne.
Right. Okay. I'm basically saying, is there enough to put her above or below her sisters?
Not really. So Doran sends her to disguise herself as a septa and gain the confidence of the High Sparrow. So that could pan out neatly.
That sounds interesting, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'd say about as interesting as where Alaras is right now.
Mm-hmm. There's potential there.
So I'm going to say between a Leras and Nymeria Sand.
Sounds good to me. Tyrion Lannister.
Tyrion Lannister.
I think we might finally have the character who can dethrone Arya. Maybe.
Again,
Tyrion's
it's
easy
basically
S-tier character.
Easy S tier for sure. I'm not sure I want to put him above Arya based on he's become very, very bitter, understandably bitter, in the last couple of books.
He has undergone a negative character arc, which is
it's
a
still
fascinating one to be sure.
Yeah, there's still development there, but it wouldn't sit right with me.
That's fair. He has done a lot of really questionable shit.
Yeah.
In Dance, so.
And just been a dick to Penny, if I recall correctly.
He was a bitter asshole, yes. Though to be fair, he does start caring for her more and more as the book goes on.
Well, I completely understand why Tyrion becomes so bitter, because he goes through a lot of shit.
Yeah, I'd say like either above or below Jon Snow.
Let's keep him above Jon for now. Let's keep him above Jon for now.
Tisha. What a tragic
whatever.
Character.
Yeah. Because we do get got confirmation that she wasn't a prostitute, was she?
Nope. Tywin made Jaime lie about that.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to her. All that Tywin says about her whereabouts is that she went wherever whores go, and that caused her to shoot him.
So, sort of with the tragic fates in Low Sea.
Yeah, we don't really know much about her.
Yeah.
Beyond the fact that she genuinely loved Tyrion and she died tragically.
Yeah.
Probably around Vanilla.
I'll give her the advantage just because, she is that much more of a tragic figure. Now we come to the big daddy, Tywin Lannister.
A.K.A. one of the best villains in all fiction.
God, Charles Dance did such a good job with him.
Charles Dance is a fucking phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
So Tywin's an S-tier villain.
Yeah.
Honestly. Absolutely god-awful person, but damn is it if he's not charismatic and incredibly intimidating.
Yeah. So where do we want to put him in S is the question.
I want to say just around Eddard and Stannis. Around Ned and Stannis area.
I'm going to say below those two based on, his pretty dickish actions. If nothing else, it's fucking hypocrisy.
Not to mention, a lot of his dickish actions don't really have a point to them.
Yeah. And the fact that he
just
almost certainly, ordered the murders of Elia and
her kids, yeah.
Her children, yeah. He's
really
done some really
there.
bad stuff. But, yeah. Val.
I really like Val. Val is an interesting one.
The sister-in-law to Mance, if I recall correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She is the sister of his wife, Dalla.
Yeah.
Who died in childbirth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's an interesting one because as much as the Southern Lords perceive her as a wildling princess, it's like, no, the wildlings are meritocracy. She's not a princess.
She's still pretty badass, though, isn't she?
She is badass. Jon actually trusts her enough to send her to find Tormund in Dance.
Mm. Is she trying to get into his pants? I can't remember.
She does flirt with him a bit, but
right.
It's more of a challenge. Go ahead and try your hand at it, Jon Snow. See if you can actually pull it off. Come at me.
Or on me.
Yes. Do it. No balls.
Midless, no balls.
You know, she's great. I really like her.
I think at the very least B, then.
Yeah, at the very least. She's a really good supporting character.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the meta of it, I'd be... I wouldn't be surprised if she became Jon's love interest, but
yeah.
all the meta stuff points to it being someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
somebody we've already ranked with a D.
Mm-hmm.
Or with a name beginning with D, yeah.
I'd say pretty high B, honestly. Just for being a badass wildling, and also just being a generally competent, good person for the most part.
Somewhere around Cold Hands and the Old Bear.
Yeah, I'd say between the two would be a pretty good placement.
Yeah. Varamir Sixskins. The Warg.
The prologue POV for Dance.
Yeah, he dies horribly, doesn't he?
Yeah, he tries to warg into a person's body, and gets kicked out as he's dying. And then his wolf gets, the wolf he wargs into as he's dying, basically is made into Summer's, into one of Summer's pack.
Right. So he's technically still alive.
Yes, just not in his original body.
No.
And also...
being in a wolf is pretty good, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's also just a real asshole.
Yeah. He's one of the ones who really didn't take to Jon, isn't he?
Not just that, he also used his powers to coerce sex from women.
Oh boy, that's a D at the very least.
Yep. Just real asshole all around.
Honestly, I'm actually thinking E. If it's yeah.
Yeah, E. High E. Just if for nothing else, then he is a powerful skin changer and very intimidating for that factor alone.
Yeah. Speaking of the lower tiers,
I'd say put him above Darkstar because he's actually competent.
Fine. But speaking of the lower tiers, Vargo Hoat.
Also an asshole.
Yep.
I believe Brienne bites off his ear when he tries to force himself on her.
Did he quite get to F tier depravities?
Yes, he is a. He is a rapist.
Cool. We're an F tier.
He does have a very interesting death, though. I believe the mountain cuts pieces off of him and feeds them to him as he before killing him.
He's still going in F tier.
Oh yeah, no.
Below Gregor and Euron, because at least they're badass.
Yeah, they're intimidating.
Varys. A tier at least.
At least, honestly, I'd argue S tier just because he's such
a
skilled schemer.
I think just on sheer impact alone, he's S because he's been running this entire game.
It's basically just been a chess master duel between him and Littlefinger, with everyone else dancing on those strings. And he doesn't have the creep factor that Littlefinger does, weighing him down.
I wouldn't even say he's really, really battling against Littlefinger. I think Varys...
They have very different plans.
But I think Varys's schemes are just on a higher tier than Littlefinger's. Littlefinger's are a lot more personal. Littlefinger's are a lot more personal and about him gaining power. Varys is about the whole realm.
Yeah. Varys is trying to install someone on the throne. And it's not who you think it is, based on the early books.
It's one of the Targaryens. I don't think he really cares which of them.
Oh, I think he cares, but we'll get to it when we get to the end.
I think he'd prefer that particular Targaryen, but if that one doesn't work out, he's fine going with Daenerys. I'm almost certain of that.
Yes.
As long as it is a Targaryen.
Yes. Varys is just such a fascinating character, though, and the show did him so damn dirty.
I think in the early seasons he was really, really, really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just they dumbed him down so much in the last couple seasons.
I think
Colin Hill was very upset with how he died.
I was about to say, I think Colin Hill did a really, really good job.
Oh, he did. He absolutely did.
So, where in S are we going to put Varys?
I mean, he's one of the foremost chess masters in the game, and honestly, I think that puts him above Tywin. He doesn't have any of Tywin's more dickish behaviors holding him back.
I'm thinking above Aemon.
Yeah, that's fair. Varys is a very good schemer.
Yeah. And he's still such an interesting character, despite the fact that, you know, we've seen him and seen him a lot over the course of 5 books. It still feels like we've only just brushed the surface.
I mean, he's a lot more present in the first 3 books than he is in the last, the 2 more recent ones.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in Feast at all.
Yeah,
because shows up at the very end of Dance.
Because obviously Feast and Dance split the
focus. Yeah.
Split the focus. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he dips after freeing Tyrion, and then he comes back to kill Kevin.
Very possible. Victarion Greyjoy.
What a dick.
Misogynistic dick.
Yeah. Apparently, after Euron, quote-unquote, despoiled his wife, Victarion felt compelled to beat her to death.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Also, he's planning on having Daenerys marry him to spite Euron. Despite the fact that she probably isn't interested in that.
I don't think any of his wives have done well.
I think he's only had the one.
Has he only had the one?
I think he's only had the one, yeah.
Again.
He has had 3, all unnamed.
But none of them had good ends.
The third one was beaten to death.
Right.
Yeah, he is an asshole with a chip in his shoulder, and though he is badass enough to go into battle, a naval battle, in full armor.
Yeah. I'll give him the badass factor, which probably takes him above Aeron, but I don't think any further.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
Viserion. The 3rd dragon.
We'll just put him next to his brother Rhaegal. Below Rhaegal, though.
Yes. Viserys Targaryen.
This fucking chump.
I don't think he even really had an impact.
I mean, his death does fuck over Doran's plans, and also Varys and Illyrio's plans. Did
it really? Did it really?
Well, they were planning to have him take control of the Dothraki horde and lead to an invasion of Westeros.
Come on, they had to know he wouldn't be capable of that.
They probably either knew that or they overestimated his capabilities.
I don't think they overestimated him.
Doran might have. He didn't know the man personally.
Doran might have, yeah, but honestly, thinking about it, I wonder if Viserion Viserys and Daenerys were meant to basically be decoys.
Viserys was. Daenerys was supposed to be something else in Varys' plan. Varys' plan.
Well, when I say a decoy, I mean, obviously we get that scene in the first book where Varys is reporting on them to Robert, and Robert is like, send people after them. I think they were meant to be the obvious ones, while the Targaryen they actually cared about was hidden away, no info about them, so that they could come in while everyone is focusing on Daenerys and possibly Viserys and their potential Dothraki horde. The other one comes in from behind and sweeps the kingdoms.
I believe they were going to use the Dothraki as kind of like a Genghis Khan villain to band together with, and have his chosen candidate kind of as a rescuer to help defeat the Dothraki and unite Westeros.
But I mean, I think it's said a few times that how unlikely it was that the Dothraki would actually make it over the seas. So we don't know.
Plans have plans. Okay?
Yeah, we don't.
It's hard to say. We
do not know. But that's my instinct, because there's no way they were gonna put fucking Viserys on the throne, not with their options. I think they'd rather put Daenerys on the throne than Viserys. But all that's leading up to me saying D tier.
D tier sounds about right. D for dumbass.
Yep.
His only real impact is on Daenerys' characterization in the first book, and his impact on his death, fucking over Dorne's plans a little bit. Also, Arianne dodged a fucking bullet.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, where in D is the question? Because he's kind of pitiful towards the ends,
Yeah. Below Bowen Marsh.
Below Bowen Marsh seems fair. Walder Frey.
The late Walder Frey.
If only.
Yeah, he's still alive, isn't he?
He's still alive. When he kicks the bucket, the Freys are gonna fucking fall apart.
Again.
It's gonna be amazing.
Again, say what you will about the show, but I think Arya just fucking murking all of the Freys was very well done.
It was great. I just hope that Walder kicks at some point during the next book so we can see the Frey clan just fall to pieces. Because that will be just absolutely spectacular and satisfying.
I mean, depending on how many Freys are left out there, I'm not sure. Given that, two of the groups of Freys are looking to be betrayed, not sure there's going to be very many Freys left. Not to mention fucking Lady Stoneheart out hunting Freys.
I mean, there are a lot of Freys still.
There are a lot of Freys.
I think there's like a whole category of Freys on the wiki, and it's like 80 or so of them. It's ridiculous.
Does his impact save him from the lower tiers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it saves him from E and F at the very least.
Yeah, definitely.
He's still an absolute scumbag.
He is.
Yeah. No, the Red Wedding is a hell of a thing, and he's the main architect behind it, or he's what makes it possible, rather.
Yeah. It's Tywin who's...
Tywin is the mastermind behind it.
Does Tywin actually... I don't think Tywin actually suggested that, but, No,
but he did move the pieces in a way that,
I'm sure he suggested...
Walder would take most of the fall.
Yeah, I'm sure he suggested something like, if... It would be terrible if the Starks were taken care of, and, you were... Starks and their allies were taken care of, and you're suddenly Lord of the Riverlands, sort of thing. So what are we saying then? He's not that interesting of a character. He doesn't have any development. It's his impact that's going to save him.
Mm-hmm.
But are we going to give? Or how much credit are we going to give to him for the Red Wedding? In that sense.
I mean, he is still one who allowed it to happen.
I mean, of the three, brains behind it, Tywin, Ruse, and Walder Frey, he's probably the least of them.
Yep.
But I'll leave it up to you if it's D or C.
Let's put him in D because he's still a scumbag.
Yep.
Question is where. I'd say we'll put him in the top of D though because of his impact on the narrative.
Fine.
He's just such a grossly unpleasant person.
Yep. Though again, what's his face? The actor.
David Bradley.
David Bradley. Very good job. David Bradley is very good at cantankerous old men at this point.
Yeah, he does a good job playing that slime bag.
Waymar Royce died in the first chapter of Book 1.
Yup.
Kind of a douche as well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he's a bit of a douchey knight type. The very first one we see.
Widow of...
near the bottom of C.
Yeah.
He's saved from D just by being like a character who kind of
such
establishes the tone of the series.
He's such a nothing character. There's no point putting him in D. He doesn't get a chance to earn D.
You're right.
Widow of the Waterfront.
She is a Volantine businesswoman.
Is she who Arya protects?
No. She's in Volantis, as I recall.
Then what's her role?
She helps, I believe... Oh, she helps Jorah and Tyrion get passage to Meereen, and sends them with a message to Daenerys.
Right.
Tell her we are waiting. Tell her to come soon.
Okay.
Because the Volantines, I believe, and several other slaves in the Free Cities want Daenerys to liberate them. I believe the widow was a former prostitute who kind of rose up on her own.
Sounds vaguely interesting.
Mm-hmm. Or at least it earns her mid-C tier.
Yeah, I would say so.
She's just a very minor character overall, though.
Above Old Nan?
Old Nan? Yeah, above Old Nan seems about right.
Yeah. Willis Tyrell, the eldest Tyrell child.
He's a fun character because even though he's crippled, he's still the heir of Highgarden, and I like how he struck up an odd friendship with Oberyn, even though Oberyn's one who crippled him.
Yes, that is a very interesting fact about them. And he's an all-round decent dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the point of the friendship is that with Oberyn is that a lot of the people Oberyn hurts or kills, take it badly and blame him, which probably fair, but Willis doesn't blame him for the accident.
To be fair, it was an accident, and Oberyn didn't do it on purpose.
Again, I could be getting this from the fan fiction, but I think Willis is like, I shouldn't have been in that tournament in the first place.
He was a very scholarly individual, I recall.
But yeah, he's a decent dude.
Oh, he was a fucking squire entering the tourney against Oberyn.
Oh yeah, that's just recipe for disaster.
And he was a good 15 years younger than Oberyn as well.
Yeah. Wasn't Sansa meant to marry him?
The Tyrells tried to set Sansa up with him, but then Tywin learned of the plan and married her off to Tyrion.
Yeah. For all indications, he would have been decent to her, so...
Yeah. It helps that he's not particularly, not too old either. He's only, like, in his mid-20s.
Yeah. Does he get more than Garland?
He doesn't even show up on screen. We don't see him in person. Because he's off in Highgarden, while the rest of the Tyrells are in King's Landing.
Decent guy, friendship with Oberyn. I'm going to say either put him above or below Garland.
Let's put him right below Garland, because Garland does have, like, more direct narrative impact and does show up.
Yeah. Will doesn't die in the prologue, but gets beheaded by Ned not long after.
Yep. His role is literally just to show Ned's attitude towards. Oh wait, no. He's the POV character for the prologue.
Yeah.
Garrett is the one who gets beheaded by Ned in the books,
okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of the show then.
Yeah, they switched around in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett's the one who gets beheaded by Ned in the books.
Okay. I'm still going to do that then.
Where did you put him?
Just above Waymar.
Yeah.
They both died in the same fucking chapter, but Will's not a dick.
Yeah, also, Will is just to go to show that, prologue POVs die.
Yep. First in a long line.
Wyman Magnificent Bastard Manderley. Oh, this is an S-tier minor character if ever I saw one.
Do you want to go into his machinations?
Yes, the Grand Northern Conspiracy. So, in a nutshell, Wyman has been conspiring with the other northern houses to, how do I put this? To basically reinstall the Starks as lords and possibly kings of the North once again. And he has been doing so deftly by playing the Freys and Stannis like fucking fiddles.
Yeah.
And he has been doing all this under Roose's nose, and Roose knows he's up to something, but has no idea how the fuck he's pulling off and what he's doing.
So, to go into a little bit more specifics, he acts as if he executes Davos, but actually keeps him alive and sends him towards Rickon. He also serves the Freys some of their own.
Yeah, no. So what he does is he plays nice with three of the Freys, sends them out with guest gifts to show, they're no longer under his protection. They can go now. And then as soon as they're out of White Harbor, he has them caught and killed. And then he bakes them as to pie and serves them to their own relatives, with none of them the wiser. And he even asks the bard to play a song about the rat cook who was known for serving other people into pies. This fucking audacity on this dude.
I think the tale of the rat cook is all about breaking hospitality rules as well.
Yeah, it's breaking guest rights.
Breaking guest rights, which is obviously what the Freys did.
Yep. Rather egregiously too.
So yeah, just absolutely fucking
rubbing it in their faces with none of them the wiser.
Yeah.
Just the audacity on this man is fucking amazing. And the fact that he's able to pull all this off with none of them realizing just how deep his machinations go is impressive. And he survives getting his throat cut.
Because he's as big as a fucking outhouse. He's a very big boy.
Oh yeah, he's too fat to get his throat cut. Which is just, my god. But yeah, no. What triggers that is that line I mentioned in the last stream about little Walder Frey. I was like, he died so young. Though mayhaps this was a blessing. Had he lived, he would have grown up to be a Frey. Just absolute ballsiness on this man.
And the interesting thing is that if I recall correctly, the rest of the North doesn't much like the Manderleys because they're very much
they worship the Seven. Yeah,
they worship the Seven, and they're very much seen as basically not entirely Southerners, but more Southern than the rest of the North.
True. At the same time, though, the Manderleys are just very, very loyal to the Starks.
They are very, very loyal to the Starks to the point where Wyman is the one fucking, orchestrating all of this shit.
And he is doing a damn good job, too.
Yeah, a wonderful fucking job. He's, we fucking gave Aurane Waters a high rank because of his refuge and audacity. Wyman takes that to 100.
He is just such a fucking amazing character. He deserves S tier, honestly.
Fuck it, why not? It's our fucking list. Bottom of S tier.
It's our fucking list. Bottom of S tier. And he is just such a great character and just absolute balls on this man.
Our fucking list where we get to put people where we want.
Yes. It's what he deserves.
Zaro Zoan Daxos, the guy from Karth, if I remember correctly.
Yep, a merchant prince of Karth. I don't think he really does that much.
He betrays Daenerys, doesn't he?
That's in the show.
Is that only in the show? God damn it.
Yeah.
So does he just do nothing in the books?
In the books, he gives Daenerys gifts and prevents the 13 from deposing Daenerys. Then he proposes to her, and when she rejects him, she's just like, okay, just please leave. Don't worry about anything. We'll just... you're free to go. Just...
I'm remembering now. He when she's in Marine, he sends, what was it, 13 ships?
Yes.
And when she declines to use that as a chance to leave, he sends, what is it, a bloody glove, which is the sign of declaring war.
Something like that.
Again, I don't remember this from the books. I remember this from the fan fiction.
Yes, Karth through Daxos declares war on Daenerys, and though he does warn her the many threats against her, including Pt. 3.
So where are we saying then?
Probably low C.
Do we want to put him above Pre?
Yeah, let's put him above Pre. He's not as directly hostile to Daenerys as Pt. 3 is.
He does declare war.
Yeah, but he's not outright trying to murder her.
I think he is.
Okay, fair. He's just more civil about it.
I'll give you that one. But I think the point is she wants her dead. Yezan Zo Kagaz?
He is the one of the wise masters of the Yukai. He's a slave owner.
Cool.
Who purchases Tyrion, Penny, and Jorah. He's apparently one of the more benevolent ones. In other words, he's not a complete monster to the slaves he owns.
It still keeps him in D. I was gonna put him in E, but if he's at least not abusing his slaves, I'll keep him in D. Low D.
He's also apparently incredibly morbidly obese.
Oh yeah, the picture makes that fucking clear.
Yeah.
Let's put him above his star.
Yeah. He's apparently shrewd and intelligent. But, yeah. Still D.
Ygritte.
Oh, Ygritte.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Honestly, A tier. Fantastic character.
Mm.
Short-lived, but fantastic.
Again, we obviously do shit talk the show a lot for good reason. I do think they what they did with the Battle of Castle Black was better by having Jon in there.
Mm-hmm.
And being able
not to mention just like actually having him be present for. No, he's still present for Egret's death, but it's much more present in the book and in the show than the books. In the books, he just stumbles upon her while she's dying.
Yeah, because in the books, he's pretty much trapped in a tower, basically firing off arrows, isn't he?
Yep.
And it makes it, makes the eventual electing to Lord Commander make a bit more sense, seeing as he did basically take over, commanding the battle once Alliser was seen off by good old Tormund.
Mm-hmm.
So where in A tier do you think?
She's a very influential character in Jon's narrative, pushing his development quite a bit. Not to mention being a great illustration of wildling culture. She's like in book 2, she's probably the biggest window we get into wildlings.
Yeah.
Into the free folk. I'd say put her a couple spots below Tormund.
All right.
Right between Belwas and Lyanna.
All right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Getting close to the end now. Euron Royce, Bronze Euron Royce.
Pretty sick nickname, not gonna lie.
It is. He's got like fucking magic armor.
He has really sick bronze armor. It's inscribed with runes that allegedly prevent its owner from coming to harm. Allegedly.
Allegedly. We'll see. Decent dude, though.
He is a decent dude, and he's one of the chief opponents to Littlefinger in the Vale.
Yeah. I very much get the impression that he wanted to be out there, contributing to the war effort. But Lysa wouldn't let them. And badass figure in his own right. I'm fairly sure.
Mm-hmm.
So high C,
low B.
High C, low B.
Yeah, let's put him at the bottom B. Just on the principle of him knowing that Littlefinger was up to shit.
Again, it would sort of hurt me to put him below Edmure. I like Euron Royce, and he's competent.
Okay, we'll put him between Randall and Edmure.
It would just hurt me, just knowing that Edmure is kind of a fuck up. Again,
look,
one area where I'm not that bothered by how dirty the show did him, because he kind of is that way.
Mm-hmm.
Euron of the Night's Watch.
Euron. Gone too soon.
Yeah. C or B?
I'd say low B. He's the reason Arya manages to escape King's Landing.
Yeah. I kind of don't want to put him below Edmure, but I will if you really don't want him to go that high.
He's too minor to go above Edmure.
Fine.
That's the thing.
I won't fight this one.
I will say he does merit being around Qyburn or Kevin.
I want to put him above Kevin.
There.
Euron's also just badass. I mean,
Euron is badass. But yes, Euron deserves to be above the Jenga block.
Yeah. Young Griff. a.k.a. Aegon Targaryen, the son of Rhaegar.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, young Griff is the subject of a theory called Aegon, which suggests that he is not, in fact, Aegon VI Targaryen, but actually a Blackfyre from the female line who is being manipulated into thinking he's a Targaryen by Varys and co. in order to install a Blackfyre on the throne. There are a lot of hints as to this because the Golden Company, which he is commanding, were founded by Blackfyre supporters like Bittersteel. Not to mention, it's very improbable that they managed to baby swap little Aegon out right before the sack of King's Landing, and also just like it makes a lot more sense for him to be fake than for him to be real.
The only thing I will say is I don't think it's specifically they want to put a Blackfyre on the throne. I think they want to put a Targaryen on the throne, and he is their best bet.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
if they are convinced.
Especially if they, if they portray him as Aegon.
Mm-hmm.
It is why I said Viserys and Daenerys were probably the obvious ploy while they snuck Aegon in round the back.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, like, as much as the baby was unrecognizable when Gregor, murdered it. Like, at the same time, again, sneaking an infant in and out of the Red Keep would have been more difficult than some lead to believe. Even Varys is the one behind it.
Unless Varys says something, I'm not sure if we'll ever know.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's entirely possible that we'll never know.
And it is obviously in Varys' best interests not to say.
Yeah. I've seen extensions to the Aegon theory that posits that his mother was in fact Illyrio's wife, who was a Blackfyre.
The unfortunate thing is, I believe the dragons were all gone by the time the Blackfyres were around, weren't they?
Correct. They all died out after the dance, about 50 years before the Blackfyre Rebellion.
Yeah.
50, 70 years before Blackfyre Rebellion.
So we, because that would be an interesting, way to tell, is if the dragons, don't take to the black flames, Blackfyres. I've got Cradle on the brain. Blackfyres, as much as they do Targaryens, but at the same time, that doesn't really fit with dragon lore, because the
Blackfyres are descended from the Targaryens.
Yeah, and the dragons are fine with anyone with Valyrian blood, basically.
I mean, Quentin had Valyrian blood, and look where that got him.
To be fair, they are still temperamental animals. Yes. Because I'm fairly sure during the dance they were like searching for people with Valyrian blood, and some of them, were fine with some dragons, but with one dragon, and not good with others.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons are very, very temperamental creatures.
Yes, they are.
So, on interest level alone, Griff is probably in A.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He's pretty well characterized too as just being like a kid who wants to be a good king very much. He wants to be a good king, but at the same time, there's a lot that he still needs to learn He's not very well versed in politics, for all he knows a lot of the more mundane realities of life.
Yeah.
Also, Tyrion plays him like a fucking fiddle.
Yeah. So where do you think we should put him?
I'd probably put him low A, because he does have a lot of impact on the narrative, and he's likely going to have quite the impact on the Daenerys' storyline in particular.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'd say
low
Rob.
Oh, that low A. Okay.
Like, we haven't seen him much in the narrative yet.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm fine with that. Okay. So let us
make some adjustments.
Add a row below, add a row above.
For C tier, right?
Yep, C minus and C plus. C plus. Okay. What point do you think we should stop for C plus? Aurane Waters. Aurane Waters is the bottom of C plus.
Maybe we could go a few lower.
Okay.
The Shave Pate being the bottom of C plus.
Okay, I can agree with that. Gonna make sure these go in the right order. Sigon, Robert Strong, and the Shave Pate. And then for C minus, I honestly think Crescent should be the bottom of C.
That sounds about right. So everyone below Crescent goes in C minus.
Yeah. Crescent. Duckfield, Halden Halfmeister, Cleos Frey, Taina Merriweather, Chitaya. Who the fuck was Chitaya again?
Prostitute in King's Landing.
Oh yeah, she helped get Shade of Tyrion.
Helped Tyrion out. Yeah.
Rhea, Maribald, Septimore.
Alright, this seems a lot more spread out properly now.
Yeah. Jacelyn Bywater, Pate, Sedontos, Zarozo and Daxus, Pyatt Pre. Come on. Go, Pyatt Pre, Steer Magna of the Thens, Rattleshirt, Harris Swift, Big Walder, Osmond, Osfrid, Stafford Lannister, Will, Waymar Royce, Jairus Drinkwater, and good old Archibald Ironwood.
Poor Archie.
That is a lot better spread out.
Actually, our biggest tier.
Like he hasn't done anything wrong, so I can't can't justify putting him in D tier, but he's such a nothing character.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair.
So,
any adjustments we should make, you think? I'm more or less happy with this list, though. Maybe we could move some.
I do. There are a couple of things I want to move around. Do you remember what our rationale was for putting Daenerys below Aemon?
No, I don't.
So I think she should probably go above him.
Maybe above Varys, actually.
Yeah.
She's a huge spanner in his plan. It's kind of great.
Yeah, I think that's a better way. I want to move Brienne up to S tier.
Brienne up to S tier?
Yeah.
Deserved.
I want to put her above Wyman as well. I'm fine with Wyman being the bottom of S tier, but I do think that Brienne should be above him.
Fair. Brienne, Wyman should be the gatekeeper to S tier. If you're not a more entertaining or interesting character than Wyman, you don't belong in S tier.
And, you know, I from the start wanted Donald Noy to be the top of A for his fucking badass feat.
Fair.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why we put Brienne in A instead of S. She deserved S.
I think I was actually advocating for S, and you said A.
Oh.
I can't remember, but I feel like I would have advocated for Brienne to be an S.
I also feel like we should move a few characters up from B into A. Like, Asha, almost certainly, because she is a much better character than the baseline Ironborn, and also she's shown to be rather nuanced and complex. And also, she's just kind of a total badass.
Not wrong.
Like, bottom of A, of course, but
yeah.
Like, and we could stand to move up a couple others from B, but I don't know.
I think if we move Arsha up to the bottom of A, and have Jon Arryn be, you know, top of B, I think that's probably a good place. I don't think Jon Arryn would probably go up into A.
I mean, Melisandre could.
Melisandre could.
She is one of the most fascinating mystery characters who we actually have a perspective of.
We moved her down because of, you know, R'hllor.
Yeah, I don't think that's entirely fair because she does seem to have been raised in that cult.
She's still burning people alive.
Yeah, but we've put people in higher tiers who have also done that kind of shit.
Fair, but
Stannis and Tywin are in S tier, and they've done awful shit.
You're not wrong.
Are not
You're not wrong, but
she's a nuanced enough character and a fascinating enough study on both fanaticism and the culture of the Shy, which is the most obscure culture that we know of at this point. That's actually in the narrative.
I'll tell you what. We'll move it to the top of B. If, when Winds of Winter finally comes out, she does end up resurrecting Jon Snow, we can retrospectively move her to A.
Fair enough.
So fine with Jon Arryn, fine with Jon Connington, fine with Blackfish, Jorah. Anybody you want to move in B?
I believe B tier is mostly good as is. Maybe we could shuffle a couple things around here and there, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I kind of want to move Quinton to C+. Top of C+, but still C+. Yeah, I think the only reason he got into B was because he wasn't quite C material, but I don't think he's quite B material either.
Yeah. C+ seems about right for him. Patchface too, honestly.
Yeah. I think we can probably leave the rest.
We just need to whittle down B a tiny bit,
Yeah.
It's a very big tier.
It's a decent. It's the biggest tier now, I think. We've split C up.
Yeah, it is just a few people bigger than C.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anyone else I'd want to bump up to A from B besides like the top handful or so of
yeah.
B.
As I said, I don't think the ones there are A material just yet. Melisandre is the only one I think there's a definite argument for. And I will admit, I'm probably marking her harshly based on the whole burning people alive thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Arya Martell also has potential for future development. That could
again, the point.
Potential.
The point is that there's 2 books left. These people could still easily move around.
It's characters who are dead or who are harder to move.
Yeah.
Unless we get like some retroactive information that makes them more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to actually move up Makoto and Hoster Tully to C+, and have the 3 Blood Riders be the top of C?
Sure.
Because I think they are basically the epitome of C, in that they've had a little bit of development, but not much, and they've not had much of an impact. They're not that interesting. They're badass, but no more than a lot of other people on this list.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the characters in C do have a lot more interesting stuff going on for them, like Barbary Dustin and the Sand Snakes.
Mm-hmm.
So we could bump some of them up to C+ as well.
Do you want to move Barbary Dustin up then?
Yeah, let's move her up at the very least.
So
Sand Snakes, we just haven't really had much direct on-screen time to develop them.
I mean, I do think Alaris is interesting, but we just haven't got enough with them to really justify moving them up.
Mm-hmm. Same with the other Sand Snakes, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Crescent as a bottom of C is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy with C+. Is there anyone we want to move around in D? I don't think we're moving anyone up or necessarily down, but certainly moving them around that tier we could do.
Nah, that's fine as is.
E tier I'm happy with. F tier I'm happy with. Are we saying Rouge is the biggest monster in the Song of Ice and Fire universe, or at least the one with the least
with the least interesting motivations for doing so? Yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because all he does really is he is a brigand who does a whole rape, pillage, and burn routine for no good reason, really. And also he's a pedophile, which just makes it even worse.
And doesn't have a nose.
Yeah, he's also very ugly. Yes, ugliness isn't inherently a bad thing. It's just he is just incredibly unpleasant, and also he's the reason Biter is the way he is. So that's another point against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ward. I don't know if Ward is the biggest monster in the series, but he's certainly the most vile.
I think he's the one with the least, what's the words I'm looking for?
Nuance?
Least nuance, least, oh, god damn it, I hate that I'm forgetting what the fucking words I'm trying to use are. It's not extenuating factors, but similar. Least reason to move him higher.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair.
Krastia can say, as much as he is a monster, he was pretty badass.
I mean, also, he was at least partially motivated to keep himself alive by and indulging in that awful behavior.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the sacrificing of his sons. The stuff he does to his daughters is not okay.
No.
And not justifiable.
Rafford and Vargo Hoat just don't quite reach the same levels of depravity as Roj. Euron Greyjoy, again, the badass factor and the genuine interest. He is an interesting character. He's just done so much horrible shit that we can't justify moving him out of F.
Yeah.
Cool game.
He's done so much horrible shit, and he doesn't really have the... a lot of the stuff people who have done horrible shit who are in higher tiers are there because they seem to either be justified in some of their decisions or have extenuating circumstances or have just, like, that cool factor well beyond what Euron does.
Yeah. Gregor, yeah, monster. Doesn't quite get to the, pedophile level of monster, but is still pretty fucking bad. And but again,
honestly, I think we should swap him with Euron because Euron at least has the cool factor down more than Gregor does.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I will give you that one. And then Ramsay Bolton again.
Euron is more intriguing.
Ramsay is probably one of, if not the biggest monsters on the list, but it's sheer impact. I think we
should bump him down below Gregor.
All right. I think that's everything then.
Yeah. Should be. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that I would really want to adjust, but there's so many characters.
239 fucking characters, and we've ranked them all.
Yeah. I'm happy with the top few tiers at the very least. They are very well placed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, where's the button for that? I will click that.
Now let's take a look at what the community
ranking
is.
I was gonna do that. I'm just gonna see.
So surprising no one. The top 5 characters in S are Jaime, Arya, Daenerys, Jon Snow, and Tyrion. Absolute shocker, I tell you.
There we go. Yeah, just give me a second and I'll get it up. So this will be going up on Twitter in a week when the last archive goes up on YouTube. So, community rank.
The S tier is not surprising in the slightest. Nor is the A tier, really.
So, Jaime at the top, which is interesting.
I mean, given his character arc, I'm not surprised.
I'm quite surprised Catelyn made it that high.
I am, actually, yeah. I would expect her to be an A.
Oberyn probably made it to A based on Pedro Pascal.
I mean, he deserves it.
He is a very good character and a very good actor. Tormund is an A.
Yay!
As is Tommen.
Wyman's all the way down in B.
As is Tommen.
Yeah, I don't get that. I'm surprised Wyman's all the way down in B.
I wonder if there might be some people who did this based on like the TV show.
And Wyman's barely in the TV show.
I don't think he is in the TV show.
He has a cameo in season 6, and that's it.
Fair enough. Let's skip all the way to the bottom. They only go down
bottom
to
is
D. Raff, Freys, Mandon Moore. Where's what's his face? Roj. Roj is surprisingly higher up.
Where is he?
Near the top of D, above Archibald. Come on, above Big Dick Penrose.
They don't seem to know who Penrose is, I guess.
Right, fuck this list.
On average.
Fuck this list. Putting Big Dick Penrose in D. Where's Donald Noy? I'm going to be annoyed if, where Donald Noy is, I can tell.
You can tell a lot of these people just watch the show.
Yeah.
I didn't read the books.
Okay, Donald Noy at least made it to B. That's at least high up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's better than the lower tiers.
Yeah. Ario Hoda's in C. God. Strong Belwas is in C.
Some people just have no taste. Most of the characters are in A are characters you'd expect to be in A based on everything.
Ed is in B at least. So is Euron Greyjoy,
Wait,
unfortunately.
Where's Tywin?
Tywin is A. Between Osha and Theon.
Ah. Yeah, S tier for this the community list is a lot smaller than ours.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it. So go back to here. Come on, load up list. There we go. So there is our. Well, I will. There. Zoom in a bit. Okay, there's our S and A tiers. I think that's the best ones to show. So that is the end of our ranking of A Song of Ice and Fire characters. We might do one or two more, like Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones themed tier lists if we can find them.
I mean, we are kind of on a kick because House of the Dragon is airing right now. So
yeah, I need to watch that, if only for Matt Smith.
He is great in that, to be fair.
Like, I just love Matt Smith to pieces. I absolutely do. So yeah, we might do another one if we can find them. I for one think it would be quite cool if we could do a fight tier list if we can find one.
The thing is, there aren't a lot of fights in the books, though.
Yeah, so we'll see what we can do. It might have to be a TV show one then. But we'll see what we can do.
Like the historical battles because we both read World of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. So yes, thank you everybody for watching. In terms of future stuff, we should be doing D&D tomorrow, as far as I know.
Yep.
I'm gonna say now, I'm definitely gonna try and get my computer set up before Tuesday. So we should be able to do Return to Persona 4 Golden and the Golden content.
Excellent.
Which also means on Thursday we should be able to do Ace Attorney.
Good.
And then next Saturday, Paradox Hour will be returning as we discuss villains. What makes a good one, what makes a bad one. So, otherwise, again, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed, excuse me. And obviously, give us a follow here on Twitch and on Twitter at Storytime_net. As I said, that is where the image of the list will be going up in about a week's time. Otherwise, again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you tomorrow in a little under 24 hours, about 22 hours, I think, for D&D. Good night.
Later.